Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on East West with G&E TV. 2 days ago, we heard the big news. It is still very big news. From now on till 5 days or 6 days later, going to be the core of the attention that China has launched their first Land Rover to the moon, and which was supposed to be on the surface of moon, working, collecting whatever is to be collected for 90 days in a row, 3-month period of time. So to understand that big move, that is a big move. All the newspapers, all the TV programs talking about it, saying that's a big move for China. And to understand the big move, one step ahead or on a broader range, I have brought my good friend, Dr. Tang Ben-Yang, to my show. So, Dr. Tang, very welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jack.
So every time you're here, I feel kind of having a backbone scientifically, because I no longer have to worry about whatever I say is wrong, because we have a scientist here, right?
It is a complicated issue, a very technical, sophisticated issue.
Sure.
Maybe we'll make some mistake, but we're not working on it, right? Well, it is really a big achievement for the Chinese space program. The first landing on a actual planet surface. But it is one of the steps of the long-term goal of the Chinese Lunar program.
Sure. Mr. Tang Ben-Yang is one of the researchers, I would say key researchers at JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory. In short for JPL for short, in Pasadena, belonging to NASA. As a Chinese American, I feel proud of him to be one of the key persons in the whole industry in taking the lead of the human civilization, right? And all that also indicates that we're not here for nothing. We're here to contribute to this great country of ours that we love every single minute of it, right? So to understand it, though, I know it is hard. You kick a ball, the ball drops, right? You throw a piece of rock, the little rock drops everything, right? So to launch something 25 metric tons out of space, how big a job is that?
Well, obviously, you need a very powerful rocket to give the such a heavy payload, a very high speed to escape the Earth's orbit. And to travel all the way to the moon. And then you have to enter the moon orbit to decelerate to a lower orbit, and then eventually lower the whole lander down to the moon surface.
Sure.
Of course, it is a huge challenge.
Huge job, right?
Yeah,
huge job. Yeah. Well, they keep saying on the paper and also on all the reports saying that they kind of cut it in a short to go into the moon orbit directly. What does that mean?
That means it will take a shorter time to travel to the moon. I think there are at least 2 ways to travel from the Earth to the moon.
So which one?
One is to just orbit the Earth for several rounds, each round changing the orbit a little bit to make it more
like this, right?
Yeah.
And slingshot it out, right?
Yeah. So maybe after 6 or 7 rounds, then it's escaped the Earth's orbit, and then on the path to the moon.
Okay.
And while entering the moon, you also taking the same
to go this way.
Yeah, to take the same approach.
I
yes,
see.
Rotating the moon for several rounds.
All right. Okay.
And each one and getting a more and more elliptical orbit. Yeah,
slower speed. Yeah.
Yeah. So the orbit is closest point and the farthest point.
I see.
Yeah. Each round, if around the moon, you get the closest point to the moon is lower and smaller and smaller, and eventually get to maybe 20, 30 kilometers.
I see.
And it's time to once you are at once the orbiter is at the lowest point, then it can escape the orbit and lower to the surface.
So when
that
they
will
say
take
direct,
longer
time, right?
Yeah.
When they say direct, what does that mean?
It means that you just go directly.
You shoot right away.
Yeah, go directly right away.
Oh, I see. You don't have to slingshot it.
Yeah, you don't have to slingshot it. And it takes a shorter time, but it is a bigger challenge.
Bigger challenge, right?
Yeah, it requires a more precise trajectory. Because you don't have a civil orbit to adjust your trajectory.
All right.
Because you go directly, right? So if you want to insert into the moon's orbit, you go a little bit off. Maybe you
I see.
You directly shoot to the moon.
Wow.
Or you go a little bit off, you shoot to the other place.
Exactly. That's why they say the window
Yeah.
of launching is only no more than 4 minutes. The work has to be done within that parameter of time to shoot it out.
Yeah,
right?
if you go directly, maybe that's
they say on paper.
Okay.
The window is only 4 minutes, no more than 4 minutes something.
And
there are several windows.
Very strict.
Very strict, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, I know that for China it is a very, very big move, and from Chang'e 1 to Chang'e 2 and to Chang'e 3, which is very inspiring. But that's the part that we did in the early 60s.
Yeah.
Or later 60s.
Yeah, the early 60s. Actually.
We did United States,
in the
right?
middle, maybe middle. That's the time of the space race between the U.S. and
Russia.
the Soviet Union at that time, right?
Yeah, Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they did it. How many years? 40-something years.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, 40-something years.
From then on to right now, so we're talking about China being the third country who can land actually something on the moon.
If this Chang'e 3 is successful.
Did the Russian do it?
Yeah, the Russian did it several times. They didn't land a man on the moon.
Yeah, no astronauts.
But they actually have a several landing on the moon, and they also have collected the sample, moon rock sample, and back to the Earth too. That is in the return sample mission. They call it return mission, return sample mission. The U.S. has done it several times. And the Russian has done it several times. And it is in the Chinese plan. It's called Chang'e 7, I guess.
Chang'e. Right now they are doing Chang'e 3. Yeah.
And 4. I think Chang'e 5. Chang'e 5, it is a return sample mission.
I see.
So this is 2015. So the last Russian return sample mission, it was 37 years ago.
I see.
So there's a gap. There's a gap of 37 years.
Okay. All right. Good. Very good. Together with me now is a research man and a great scientist, Mr. Tang Ben-Yang, working at the JPL of Pasadena, out of NASA. And as you can see from the face, he wears the same Asian American face as I am, which makes me proud of being the same, right? Okay, anyway, all I wanted to say is that we're here in this country not doing nothing, like they say, but we are doing great contributions to the country. Small as my job, I do my part too. So stay with us a little bit. When we come back, we'll continue talking about the significance of the launching to the moon. Let's see what we'll find from there. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, my dear folks, dear fellow Americans. Welcome back to the show. Right now, we're talking about the recent launch of China to the moon for a Land Rover, which are supposed to collect the information from the surface of the moon, which is really the first move, even though the third of humankind, but to China is the first move. Joining me in the discussion of this big move is Dr. Tong Ben Yang. He is a researcher at the JPL out of Pasadena under NASA. Like I said, I'm proud of him because he is one of the Chinese Americans who are doing great contributions to this country like everybody is. So to understand the whole thing though, you're saying about return mission. To return from the Earth, the moon to Earth though, do we need another rocket? They have another rocket there or what?
Definitely, they need another rocket to launch from the moon back to the Earth. Right? So this is the one step forward.
This is something they carry with them on way in, or they make it something there.
Yeah, of course they have to. The lander has to carry everything.
To carry it
with it. Yeah.
Even the fuels.
Even the fuel, the rocket, the fuel, and the launch, the launch equipment.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
But consider the gravity though, which is much less than the Earth.
Yeah, it doesn't
need such a huge rocket.
That's
right?
Correct. It doesn't need a huge rocket. But I think the bigger challenge is to the entrance, to the entrance to the Earth.
Back to Earth.
Yeah, back to the Earth. That is, you have to have the shield, right? The heat shield.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
When the orbiter or the spacecraft enter the Earth, kind of a braking action. So when you enter with the friction with the atmosphere, this
the heat will be generated. The heater insulation.
Yeah.
The protection,
the
heat shield, right? Yeah. Okay. So to compare the difficulties and the challenges of launching with the fact of returning, which is more challenging?
I would say the entrance to the Earth's return. The entrance is a big challenge because as you said, the moon's gravity is smaller, only 1/6 of the Earth. So
1/6 of the Earth.
Okay. Yeah, 1/6 of the Earth. So launching from the moon, I'm not expert on this, but from my guess, it should not be such a big deal.
I see.
Even though it is still a technical,
of course,
challenge. Also, you remember you have to carry all the launching equipment. And the heat shield, the entrance requirement, all with the spacecraft. So the original launch from the Earth would be heavier. Everything would be in it.
Sure. And also, it has repacked itself into the shield, right?
Yeah.
With nothing exposed, like a ball or like a bullet or something, totally wrapped, like a cocoon, right? That's totally wrapped, and then shooting it back, to Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
The wrapping on the moon, I would imagine, is less a requirement because there's no atmosphere on the moon. So you're not worrying about the drag, air drag. You're not worrying about that. If you launch from the Earth, you have to have the shield, right? The shield of the original payload to reduce the drag.
Oh, I see, I see. Yeah. So China, looking at China, where China is at now, they did their launch, which is the first one, to the moon. However, even though they are taking the third position as the third nation to do such a same launch, but the approach more direct, saving some distance, saving some energy, some fuels by doing direct. This is the one big move. And you mentioned that they plan to do the next return experiment on the 2015?
Yeah, 2015. As I read the Chinese lunar program.
I see.
So they have Chang'e 1, that's the orbiter of the moon.
Sure.
And the Chang'e 2 is similar to Chang'e 1, also an orbiter.
All right.
So basically the task was to map the moon surface.
Sure.
Also for preparation for this, for the current Chang'e mission, for the lander, right? To find a flat space for the lander to land on. You probably you don't want the lander to land on a very rocked,
rocky foundation, something flat, right?
Yeah, you want to find a flat one. So the Chang'e 2, the resolution, the mapping resolution is 1 meter. So that's probably enough to map the moon surface to find a good spot.
Oh, 1 meter means what? What means tolerance?
No, the Chang'e 2's camera.
I see.
Yeah, it's 1 meter resolution.
I see. That means within 1 meter, they can shoot as close
as.
They
say they can see maybe an object of say like this table size.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
that's
so
very close-up shot.
Yeah, pretty close up. Yeah.
Very close-up shot. All right, good. All right, back to my audiences. Dr. Tang Benyang of JPL out of NASA in Pasadena is a great friend of mine, also a great friend to this station. I remember last time we had him here talking about Chang'e 2, and now how time flies, we're talking about Chang'e 3 already. It's a big jump for China, and it's a big step forward to mankind. Like Armstrong says when he first landed in the space on the surface of the moon, he says it's a small step to humankind. No, it's a small step on
to a man.
To a man.
But a big step to mankind.
To mankind. Yeah, sure. And there's a small step to the orbiter, but a big step to China, whole nation, right? So
that's right.
Yeah. And Mr. Tang Benyang, Dr. Tang Benyang is a wonderful person, and he's rich in his research. And if you recall the Mars land over rovers, and you were involved in the design of the arms, right?
No, I was not involved in the arm. I think was
or something you were involved,
manufactured
right?
In Canada.
I see.
Yeah, a company called Canada Arm. Yeah, Canada Arm.
Canadian Arm or Canada Arm, right? Like that. Yeah.
I was involved, but even in a very small role.
I see.
For the design of for the implementation of the software. The navigation software.
All right. Okay. Implementation software.
Yeah.
So such a great job.
I also have to make. I also want to make a correction that I'm just one of the 5,000 regular employee of JPL.
Sure. All right. Good.
I'm not any key or any such important.
Thank you. I respect
personnel.
Yeah.
And also, I'm also one of the maybe a couple hundred. Chinese American scientists and engineer.
Sure, all right. And as you can see, I do respect Dr. Tang's honesty. So we'll continue. Let's take a short moment out, and when we come back, we'll find more. Hello, greetings, my dear folks. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on East West with G&E TV. Today we're talking about China's first move to the moon, the lunar programs towards the next big plan. First, they want to land the, still called Land Rover? Call it Land Rover or Land Orbiter. What is that?
There are two parts of it. One is the lander, right? The one
lander,
that's actually land on the moon surface. Within the lander, embedded in the lander, there's a rover.
Rover, yeah.
So after the lander lands on the moon, the rover will pop up
I see.
and travel around on the moon surface.
I see.
Yeah, the rover is called Yu2, right?
I see.
Jade
the Jade Rabbit. The Jade Rabbit. What a name!
Yeah,
now you have Chang'e, which is what? This is Gaudi, which is Gaudi, right?
Yeah, the god
it's a Gaudi, female god anyway. And you have Yu2, which is her pet called the Jade Rabbit. Okay, now, I introduced Mr. Tang Ben-yang to you as a very close friend of mine, to whom I respect a lot, and also that is why I feel proud in him, because his contribution to whatever American science where we are. So now back to the same discussion though. To launch something like the Land Rover, which is the core of it, right? You have to have a vehicle, like a car, to hold it.
It is a lander. The lander
is the car.
The lander is a stationary car.
Okay, all right.
It doesn't have wheel. It doesn't move. But it has say the back rocket to slow it down, so it won't drop it down like a free falling rock. They will damage the vehicle, right? So have several rockets.
They will shoot.
Yeah.
They will
shoot down.
They will shoot towards the surface.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
slowly.
Slowly. So that it will drop down slowly. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so I'm trying to reverse it. Trying to think to reverse it in order so as to imagine how big a project it is. In order to land a Land Rover, very small, probably like 1 meter long, something.
Couple meters.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah, 1.2 tons.
1.2 tons. You have to wrap it with a lander, right? Put the lander inside a shell, and attach the shell to 3 rockets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then at the very first stage, you fire the rocket, bring the whole thing up, and step by step, until the moment you have only the head, the lander left, which opens itself, and it lands down.
It's land first and then open up.
And opens it and let the small thing walk out.
Then the small rover will pop up.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
The rover has 6 wheels and it's only 120 kilogram instead of the whole lander is 1.2 tons.
I see.
But the rover, the 6-wheel rover is only 100.
Oh, very light. Very light. It's almost like how much I weigh.
Okay. No, you don't.
I don't weigh that much.
To weigh that
but anyway, I want to live on moon, because once in moon I will weigh like less than 40 pounds.
Right? 1/6 of it.
1/6
Yeah,
anyway,
1/6
right?
of it.
1/6
Yeah.
of it. I feel very happy about it.
Yeah, you can jump. You can jump very
I can
high.
jump, right? Okay. Anyway, so it says on the Newsday, once it starts working, of course, right now it's still flying, right?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think the landing day is December 15.
December 15.
Yeah, about still 12 days.
I see. Does that mean that the distance needs to be 12 days, or like I said, the news said to look for the window. The window takes 3 days to discover.
I think the lander, the whole lander, still orbit the moon for several rounds.
Like say to reduce it.
Yeah. Maybe it's left the Earth's trajectory, but they still
I see.
orbit the moon for several.
In other words, the Earth gravity has no control, no more control to the orbiter. It is flying to the moon now.
Yeah, I think so.
So, is it flying by its own or still using a rocket?
I think the lander has detached from the rocket.
Already?
Yeah, it doesn't need much power because once you travel, because in the space there's no atmosphere, so there's no drag. Yeah, so you gain a speed. You will continue travel.
The speed
with that speed.
will remain, right?
Yeah, it will remain to be that speed. Yeah.
And until the moment when they approach to the moon, start to feel about the moon gravity.
Then enter the moon's orbit.
Yeah, but who makes it reduce the speed to match with the moon gravity?
There are rockets on the lander too. There are small rockets on the lander.
I'm trying to find out, is it the controller in the rocket or it's kind of a control?
It's a ground control.
On the ground?
Yeah, on the ground.
Ground control?
Yeah, ground
So
control.
you're talking about remote control?
Yeah, basically it is a remote control.
That indicates that China remote control skills are sophisticated too.
Oh yeah, it is a one step beyond the Earth's orbit's satellite control. Right? Even you launch to a satellite to orbit the Earth, you still need a remote control. Right?
I see.
But that's a very short distance.
Yes,
the moon, we're talking the moon, that's a several order.
You're talking about
more difficult.
260,000 miles?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly the distance.
That's quite a long distance.
Okay. So the distance is longer and the signal is weaker. So you probably need a larger antenna.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
But the problem is that at the moment I see the object, right? And then till the moment the ground station receives the signal, there is a delay.
There's a delay.
There's a delay,
the delay
right?
is pretty short. Yeah.
Pretty short?
Yeah. Compared to the Mars, the delay is depending on the position of the Mars and the Earth. The delay can be 30 minutes or 20 minutes. Yeah. So you send a command to the Mars. I'm talking about Mars. The Mars rover is 20 minutes. Then you hear it back. The Mars rover says, "Oh, okay, I hear you." Then it's another 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's
so a round trip is 40 minutes.
Saying that I'm about to hit the wall, right? And then I'm waiting for your instruction. When your instruction says go around it, this is when the signal gets here, it's too late. It's already hit it.
Yeah,
right?
Probably you will stay there to wait for the instruction.
Oh yeah.
But actually, because of this big delay, the Mars rover usually doesn't communicate that way.
I see.
It just receives the instruction, 1 day's instruction in a lump, and then store the instruction.
Oh, I see.
And then travel without communicating, without hearing back from the Earth.
Kind of like a previous stored.
Yeah, previous stored.
Because those are the common conditions, right?
Because
yes and no.
Say the rover travel, and then by the end of the day, it take a picture of the surrounding, right?
All right.
And then it send the picture back to the Earth.
I see.
And then the navigation people
and
actually at JPL, they started the landscape, and then they send the instruction, the whole day's instruction. To the rover.
Okay, next day job.
Yeah, next day's job. Yeah. So it cannot go too far.
I see.
It cannot go to the place you didn't see the previous day.
I see.
So it's not a real-time remote control. But for the moon, you can do real-time.
Like a farmhand working for your landowner, saying that sunset, I send over. Okay, this is what I did today. Okay, then I go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
And then the boss says the instructions, say, tomorrow you do this.
Yeah.
And when Rover wakes up, here's the instruction, he starts working, right?
Yeah.
But to the moon orbiter, I mean to the moon rover though, even though the distance is short, but it's about the same thing, right?
No, because the delay is, I think, in the order of a minute or two.
It's about I don't know, maybe at least some seconds, right?
Yeah, some seconds, maybe
some
30,
seconds,
maybe
yeah.
60 seconds.
You're talking
or
about
100 seconds.
You're talking about 260,000 miles.
Yeah.
380,000 kilometers.
Yeah, I cannot do the math in my
right
head
off in
now.
my head, yes.
Yeah. But I read somewhere it is about a second delay.
Oh, about a second.
Yeah.
About a second
so
delay,
if you're talking about round trip, is 2 seconds. Sorry, 1 minute. So
1 minute?
you were talking about the round trip is about 2 minutes.
I see.
So you can still do kind of a real time control. Yeah, because 2 minutes is not that long.
Very good. But one thing for sure, though, that for China, let's see. If you look back this way, during the early 80s, China wasn't even thinking about this more lunar program, right?
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think they were planning anything like that.
No, right?
No.
Okay, now. Yeah. And then when one started quick, catching up quick. Does that mean that the successors, I mean the formers, right? The former people like, say, US people, like us, like Russians, their technology, some common technologies that people can share, and it's becoming the resource of the humanity, over all humankind, though, and that makes China distance shorter.
I think China learned something from the Russian space program.
Benefit from it.
Yeah, benefit from the Russian or the US program. Maybe benefit from the Russian more, because the US has a very strict prohibition.
Of course, protection
to prevent the NASA from cooperating from
okay.
China.
Very good.
But there are something pretty common sense you can learn from the news, how the NASA's Apollo program, how their lander landed on the moon.
Sure.
For a lot of them, several of them.
Sure.
China probably, even by reading the history book, they learn something, right? But the technical detail, I think China just still don't get it.
All right, good. Very good. And then I believe China will work it a long way out, even though there are things that China can think they can benefit. But when they have their own ways to do it, they will choose their own way to do. And joining me today is my good friend, Dr. Tang Beiyang of NASA, of JPL to be precise, in Pasadena. So let's take a short moment out. Once we come back, we'll find out what is the significance of sending something there to the dark, hard-surfaced something, a satellite, for. Do we just do it for nothing? So do we have something behind? So let's find out when we come back. So stay with us. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the fun discussing about the moon. Yes, the moon is the is the satellite or something, call it precise, or something that the mankind has full of imagination about. I recall that when last time Armstrong was landing on it, the Houston ground control station says, "Look around. The Chinese say there is a gaudy with a rabbit something. Look around. You see them? Something like that, right?" They joke. They're joking about it.
Yeah, I remember. So,
they're joking about it. Says, "I see nothing about them. I didn't see them." Right. So we believe for thousands of years, we believe there's something. But anyway, to think about it, to humanize it. To humanize it is something for the thousands of years, and also at nighttime it lights up the Earth. Those are the functions of the moon. The bigger question is, United States, Russia, and China. Well, United States and Russia, first they were in a rush to get who gets first on the land of the moon.
Yeah.
And later, once they're okay with it, they totally forgot it. No return, no nothing.
That's right. Yeah.
And now it's China's turn to get on it.
Yeah.
Does that mean that several years later, when it's no problem to China, China will just make it and then never come back? So what's your take about it?
I think China's missions, many of them, right, to the moon, are more practical than the Russian and the U.S. 40-something years ago.
I see.
Yeah, because they're talking about mining the mineral on the moon. They're talking about setting up a space telescope on a moon-based telescope for astronomical research.
I see.
Yeah, and also now there's another nation competing with China, India.
Oh, India.
Yeah, India sent a moon orbiter, I think 2 years ago or 1 year ago. Yeah, and it was.
They are looking at the same moon too.
Yes, the same moon too, and it was a successful mission.
I see.
You know, so now India just sent another orbiter to Mars, to the Mars. So there's even though the Russian and the U.S. is out of the moon.
You're saying about within next few days, the United States is going to launch another one?
Yeah.
What for?
It's to study the aerosol, basically the dust.
The dust.
Distribution or properties around the moon, in the moon's surrounding. The moon probably have a very thin atmosphere. So the NASA actually worried the Chinese moon mission. When it lands on the moon, it will stir up some dust. It through the moon's atmosphere. So it will mess up NASA's mission's measurement.
But if the United States does the same thing while taking the chance of the dust that the lander of China created, is there opportunity to do their own research?
Exactly.
Am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
People also argue it's not really a bad thing.
I can't make a dust like with a broom, doing that. But here's a lander that makes the dust, and then why don't you come over here and do your own research, do your own finding?
Yeah, this maybe a good time to study the moon surface dust.
I see, I see. So my next question is getting probably even bigger. I know this is just for fun, all right? You and I, none of us are in that field. So now, first we have United States, second we have Russia, and the Russians, and thirdly we have Chinese, and then we have Indians. So people, when they send orbiter or lander after landers to it to start their own stuff, can they claim sovereignty on the surface of the moon?
I remember there's a treaty, a UN treaty, banning the territory claims on the moon. So you cannot just go there and draw a circle, say this is my land.
They can't.
But the situation perhaps is different. Say if China establish a permanent operational base on a piece of land on the moon, you cannot put something to that base.
In the same base.
Yeah, in the same base, because you will interrupt the Chinese operation. So in certain sense, it is a claiming of that piece of land.
If you want to do the same thing, you want to do like say 100 miles away down there, well, go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then another 100. So later on, many like say several hundred years later. So could we do the same thing like we did on this land with the land rush? Recall that piece of history? When the land was discovered, all the Europeans, they were on horseback, they run for a whole day, say, hey, this is mine, and that become his, right? So can people still do that on the moon, do the same thing, say, do that?
Yeah, I don't know how strongly the UN treaty can be enforced. Right?
I see.
There are certainly no army on the moon to enforce it. So it is actually an unknown territory.
No, unknown.
Yeah, human is entering.
Unknown and out of control the situation, right?
I think some people in the U.S. They are actually worrying about it.
Worry about it already. But one thing for sure, that we can use the moon as a transit to go elsewhere, right?
Yeah, it is. That's
the beneficiary.
Can be a base for a further space exploration.
All right. So if we launch something from the surface of moon instead of the surface of Earth to say Mars, right? Yeah. There's going to be quite a substantial saving.
Yeah, it is a much easier, much cheaper. And if you can actually manufacture some, say, fuel from the moon's raw material, then you save a lot of lifting from the Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Earth's gravity is so much larger. Yeah, it's much more expensive to launch from the Earth.
I see. And there is a calculation about how many dollars per kilo of lifting to out of the space, out of the atmosphere. There's a few $1,000 or something, or even more. I'm
guessing
right?
more than a couple
$1,000,
right?
More than that.
Yeah, because people are talking about because the Earth is kind of a big planet with a big gravity coming with it. So anything beyond that gravity well. It is valuable. Say if you have fuel beyond that gravity center, it will save you the launching cost.
I see.
Yeah. So if you can manufacture something on the moon, that would be very, very.
Yeah. In other words, you're reducing the size of the war against gravity.
That's right.
And rather than every penny saved would be the saving itself.
Yeah.
You're not wasting any of your savings, right? Okay, very good. Very good point. And one very quick one, though. We can use that for military base. People can do that, can we?
Yeah, potentially it is a problem.
Something in the inevitable, right?
Yeah. I would guess. I'm not an expert on this.
I see.
But probably this role, a military role, is somewhat limited because the moon is so far. It would be more effective to put something into a near Earth orbit, to put some military settlement in the near Earth orbit.
But it's
can reach the Earth.
But it's a simple logic. If on the land of a surface you want to attack here from here, you send something, boom, there. You would rather do.
Or you have some things already circling around the Earth, ready to go down to the target anytime. Take a much shorter.
Moon is.
But moon is take much longer.
A lot longer, right?
Yeah, much longer.
Consider distance itself.
Yeah, consider distance.
But they can use the laser gun. Laser cannon, like
I would think it is also too far away.
Too far away. Huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's not worry about that.
All right. All right. I take that for the comfort. And well, anyway. So today I have the pleasure to have Dr. Tang Ben-Yang of NASA in JPL, Pasadena, to come here talking about the China chang'e number 3 sending the land of Rover to the moon. And of course, we do not touch about the technical part. We're just talking about the fun of sharing the fact, right? Yeah, sure. And to my audiences, I believe that you have lots of questions. If you have questions that you want to ask Ms. Dr. Tang, you can send it to tellmydj@gmail.com, tellmydj@gmail.com, or you can send it to jack@edimedia.com, jack@edimedia.com, so that I will pass the question to Dr. Tang to get you an answer, or putting all the questions together to have him come here another time to talk about it. And thank God we have one of the wonderful people working at NASA wearing the same face like we all do. That's our proud, and we want him to keep up the good work. So thank you very much, and to Dr. Tang, thank you very much.
Thank you.